Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to colour this picture with Promarkers. So I'm going to be going a little bit more in depth of how I colour hair and skin. So in this case I'm starting off with 6 Promarkers, but if you don't have that many then it works pretty much just as well if you just have 3 that match each other. But as you can see I'm going in here first with the lightest colour, which in this case is tan. And I'm just putting in all the highlights, and after I've put in the highlights I go back in with my darkest colour and put in all the shadows, and in this case I'm using Umber, and I just use a flicking motion to get the texture that I want, and this is going to make it easier to blend the colours together later on and make it look a little bit more like hair. So yeah, I just go around and add in all the shadows where I want them, and after that I take my next darkest colour, and I like to work from dark to light because I feel that I get more control over the blending that way. So I just take the next darkest colour, in this case it's Walnut, and I start by going over all the shadows I've already done and just drawing it out a little bit further each time with the same flicking motion. And I even start colouring from the tips of the hair as well as from the top, because what I'm going to do is go towards the centre, making it lighter and lighter until I get to that highlight. The paper that I'm using here is the Windsor and Newton bleed proof paper. It feels really thin. It's only 75 grams per metre or £20 paper, but it actually really does do a really good job. I didn't have any problems with bleed through onto the other side, and not even bleeding over the lines. But if you don't have this paper, a fairly thick cardstock will usually do the job as well. And now you can see I'm going in with my next lightest colour. Again, I go over the 2 colours I've already put down, and I just colour a little bit further, getting ever nearer the highlights in the middle of each hair strand, not necessarily a strand, but each section of hair. I started actually using Promarkers, I think it was about 8 or so years ago now. I went on a crafty weekend, and the lady that was running it had some Promarkers, and one of her friends had some copics, and I'd always used colouring pencils up until that point. But they both let me try them out, and I really fell in love with the Promarkers. I know that copics are often more popular, but I really like that you have a little bit more control with the Promarkers. I found that the flexible brush nib on the copic pens was just a little bit too flexible for my liking, and not quite thin enough so that I could never quite stay in the lines. And I think I'm not careful enough. I try and do it too fast. So Promarkers were my thing, and I've invested in quite a lot of them since then. I've had quite a few for my birthday and Christmas presents. So yeah, I've built up a pretty good collection of them. But if you're just starting out, then I could recommend try to get 2 or 3 colours which are similar in a medium, dark and a light, and that way you can do some blending. And if you don't, then get the sets of grey, because it's always good. You can always put greys underneath if you've only got 1 colour, and use that as a shadow instead. And now you can see I keep going in just with my lighter and lighter shades, just getting ever nearer the highlight in the middle, and just trying to then make it look a little bit more natural on that side. Sometimes it can be a little bit hard with the flicking. But yeah, I'm now on to the cinnamon colour. I'm getting nearly at, I'm at the highlights now in the middle. So after I've done this, I'm just going to then go and take the tan, which was the highlight colour, and go over everything one last time, just so everything blends together. And now that I'm finishing off the hair, I am going to go in and start doing the skin. To do the skin I use 4 colours. I'm using an Ice Pearl, which is a limited edition Promarker, but I'm pretty sure you can get a similar colour in a not limited edition. And it's quite purpley, but I really like using that to go in and mark in all the shadows again. And like I said, with the hair, same with the skin, I like to work from dark to light. So I go in and I mark in where the shadows are going to be, and then I go back in with my next darkest colour. In this case it's the, I think it's Putty that I'm using here, and I go over all the shadows and I'll draw it out a little bit further, and I just carry on in this way. I take the next Promarker, or I'm going to go in and do the neck first because I forgot to do it before. And here I am going in with the Sun Dune pen, a little bit more of an orangey peachy tinge to this one, which really brightens up the whole face, but I'm still leaving space for where I want the highlights to be, and just drawing out all the shadows and everything that I've done before. And as it dries, it starts to blend together much more. So to start with, sometimes it looks like you've got some really harsh lines, but once it dries, it looks a lot softer and more natural. So I just then go in with my lightest shade and fill in the rest of the bits that I haven't yet done, and then I just go over the whole thing a couple of times with that colour. And then I realise after this that I actually forgot to do the eyebrows, so I go back to my browns and continue with that, and then I just go back and do the lips with, I think I used the Sun Dune again on the lips. I'm not really sure, I'll have to check that one in a minute. Added the eyelashes, which unfortunately looked a bit spidery, and coloured in the eyes again with blue Promarkers, and did the top to match, and then just put in a background with some blue pen, and that's pretty much it. It was the sunkissed pink I tried to use on the lips. It wasn't really as pink as I was hoping. I probably should have gone back in and done it a bit darker, but there you go. I'm really pleased with how it turned out overall, and I've now put it as my avatar, so because it kind of looks a little bit like me. It doesn't look entirely like me, but it's a little bit of a stylized version. So yeah, that's going to be my avatar. I really hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please feel free to leave me a like and a comment, or even subscribe. I'm hoping to do some more Promarker tutorials on my channel, because it really is one of my favourite mediums to work with. I don't want to just put stuff on my channel where I'm testing new things out and then the result just looks awful. I want to put some things where I know that the result's going to look a bit better as well. So I'm just going to be doing some more tutorials hopefully in the near future. So if you like what you see, if you want more tutorials, subscribe to keep up to date, and feel free to leave a comment, ask any questions if you want to know anything more about what I've done, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching, and bye!